Here we go. The Deal News Podcast, episode 226 for September 5th. Magic Man is a real Voldemort. I am joined by Lewis and Dan. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, it's always a fun time to drop a Voldemort reference first thing.
That was good. That was very quick.
So let's just jump into some news, shall we?
Sure.
This is a follow-up of a story that we covered last week, essentially. Last week we mentioned that Pandora and Spotify are hemorrhaging money, and it's all going to licensing fees. Well, this week, Lewis found another story about where that money actually goes, and it's not to where you think.
Oh.
Yeah, basically the artists are making practically nothing per stream. So what happened was a band by the name of Parks and Gardens, one of the members of the band tweeted yesterday kind of complaining to the Twitter sphere, basically saying, hey, you know what, this whole streaming thing, it's really not working out for us. And they basically make 1/3 of a penny per stream on Spotify and iTunes Match. And he just wanted to voice that out to everyone and say, like, you know what, guys, artists aren't making the money. It's the labels and the actual, it's the labels, the record labels.
Yeah, yeah. So when you see all that money that we talked about last weekend that Spotify and Pandora make that then have to go and pay for artist royalties.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it all goes right to the record labels themselves. I don't think that's that unexpected. I mean, this has been going on for years. I still remember, it must be about 11 years now, where I found something on the internet which was a circle of a CD, and it like broke down where all the money goes, and the artist gets so little of any replay of music that they get,
Interesting. So it's little wonder that the independent artists are moving more towards distribution on their own rather than going through record companies or any of the mainstream.
Yeah, but with the rise of these streaming services, you want to get on that. You want to be a part of that. You want to have your music out there because, I mean, if you're not on there, then that's a huge portion of the listening audience that it just doesn't have access to your music. So you want to be on there, and it turns out that it's not going to pay you the best.
And it's interesting because everyone, I remember you guys remember seeing all the articles saying, like, streaming is the future of the internet, this and that. And now you also have some mainstream artists who are kind of upset about the money that they're not making, artists like Coldplay, Adele, more mainstream names. And if these artists start pulling out and saying, like, you know what, we're just not getting anything from streaming, then streaming is going to kind of like self-implode because then artists are going to start backing out of it. And then who's going to be left to stream,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there'll always be someone that's left to stream. It'll be like the old days of e-music,
I was just thinking that.
Oh, that's right.
E-music,
It's like, I could download as many MP3s as I want. Who are these artists? I don't know.
I've never heard of Hog Leg Rebellion.
Oh, have you heard their latest?
Apparently not.
I have not either. I don't know. Wait, is that a real band? I feel really
I just made that up. But it sounds like a good band. We should start it.
Yeah. All right. I'm on Triangle and I don't know drum kit. I don't know how to play the drums. All right. Let's see. Our next story here is at least I think it's the big news of the week. You may remember that there was the eBook price fixing to do. That was
yes,
all the rage. Apparently, Apple and the book publishers colluded to set prices because they didn't like the way that Amazon was setting essentially selling their books at a loss to gain market that way. So there was a big lawsuit, and it actually it has settled out in the favor of the consumer at this point, and those payments are going to start going out soon. So let's see. The settlement was for $69 million to consumers. And I guess each state has to put in their claim for it or how it's going to be distributed, because right now I think only Maryland and Washington have said how much of that money they're going to be receiving for customers. I don't know how that side of stuff is done. But essentially, if you have purchased an ebook that was part of that marketing fixing thing from I think April of 2010 until just a couple months ago, Uh, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, they're going to be contacting you in some way. So I don't know how they're going to do it because I mean it's going to be really easy to copy with spam emails. Like,
Exactly.
I'll just send out an email that's like, "Hey Dan, Amazon, just click here and receive your money back from Amazon. Just give me your credit card information." No.
That's right.
And I guess if you bought a book from Google, you're going to have to go to a site that they're going to set up and submit a claim for it. But yeah, Apple, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, and Kobo are all going to be proactive about it. So I'm just glad because I know that I bought a book since then. I don't know if I bought one of these books. Do you guys?
I bought a couple.
Yeah. Because it has to be one of the books that, like, the price was set artificially.
Oh, well, then
you know.
that I don't.
Yeah.
How do you know? Do they have a huge list of like?
I have not seen a list, but it's probably more likely if you bought like bestsellers during that time frame.
Then maybe there might be one or two. So we'll have to wait and see if I get a note from Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much per book you'll get, or whether it'll be just a flat kind of fee or something, you know.
Yeah, I really wonder what the settlement's going to be. Is it going to be like, well, you bought 2 books and we're going to reimburse you 25 cents each. Here's a 50-cent credit for Amazon. You know. Oh, and that's the other thing is Amazon is going to give you the choice between getting a check or a credit on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. I'd go for the credit as long as it didn't expire in 2 days.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? It seems really kind of questionable, doesn't it? But I mean, I guess since you're not. All right, what we're talking about, listeners, is the fact that you can often enter in these codes at Amazon and get like a free $2 MP3 credit or a $1 credit towards video, and they always seem to expire just as you need them the most, in like 2 weeks or a month or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know, it just kind of rankles. It just doesn't feel right. But I mean, I guess it's money that they gave to you for free,
Right.
so you can't really, complain about it. Did I just freeze in the video version there for a second?
No, you look fine.
But it wasn't bad.
All right, good. So many technical difficulties. I'm sorry, everyone. This has just been an episode plagued with. Are you not supposed to apologize for this? Or are you just supposed to
never apologize.
Never apologize, right? Okay.
They don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, right. Well, I just wanted to let them know what was going on behind the scenes.
Oh.
So we don't apologize. Do we then actively blame them? Maybe. Is that
yes.
your fault? But no, it's not. We love you, listeners and watchers. All right, let's move on to some more news. This is about Walmart. What is Walmart doing these days?
Yeah, Walmart has a new app. Currently, it's for iPhones only. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to make checkout a lot quicker. So what you do is when you go to the store, you load up this Scan and Go app for Walmart that it's called onto your iPhone. As you're going down the aisles, you scan the item that you want to buy, and then you bag it yourself. Then at the end, once you go to the register, you don't have to go to an actual cashier. There'll be a special register for people using this app, and it's self-checkout. It's a self-checkout option.
Interesting.
That might speed things up. I mean, because I'm thinking, well, then what's the difference between like a self-checkout lane? But if you're scanning them as you're putting them in your bag, then you're doing it one piece at a time.
Yeah, and you don't purchase it from the app itself. Once you get to the checkout line, it'll ask you for your credit card, but it will already have a list of the items that you scanned earlier. So, and like I said, you already bagged it yourself, so it's just a matter of punching in that credit card and you're out.
Wow.
Yeah, in this one article here, let's see, it's going to be called Scan and Go. But the company Walmart estimates that it spends $12 million per second on cashiers' wages. And Scan and Go is a way for them to not have to pay that anymore.
Right.
So, yay, consumers, except for all the people that are going to get fired who won't have the money to even shop at Walmart.
Right.
I don't know. Would you guys do this, or would you continue to try and go to a cashier? What are your thoughts on this?
We have the opportunity to do both at one of the local Albertsons over here. You can do the checkout lane where you scan the items and such. I would be interested in being able to, scan the barcode on the item and bag it myself in my little cart and then go up there and just show them a pre-generated barcode and they scan that and already know how much I need to pay them. But, for me, I kind of miss the human interaction of going to the store and talking to the checkout lady. Hi, how was your day? Yeah, me too. Looks like we're going to have a lot of weather. Oh, I don't know. All that type of stuff that you normally do with a human being. Now you're going to walk through the store in utter silence and scan everything and then go up to a counter, pay, and then you could basically go through the store without saying a word.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that a lot, except in my experience, anytime you do self-checkout or any sort of like special checkout like that, what winds up happening is that the self-checkout has a problem with it, doesn't work, and then you can't find anyone to help you, and then you just wind up getting more aggravated, and the only thing you want to say to someone that does come over is to yell at them and be like, why don't you have real cashiers anymore?
Right.
Like the pharmacy up the block, the CVS up the block, no real cashiers anymore.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Wow.
There are only 4 self-checkout lanes, and 3 of them are always broken, and the 4th one barely reads things. I mean, they're supposed to have someone standing behind, like, watching to make sure everything's okay, but anytime I go to, like, scan a coupon or something and it doesn't work, the woman comes over and is, like, she's just as clueless as I am about the self-checkout, and then we have to go over and she has to open up the register to check me out to, like, do that sort of stuff.
Well, now I will say that the place that has it pretty well dialed in on the self-checkout thing is Home Depot. Because they've got a lane of like 3 on each side, so there's actually 6 self-checkout areas that you can walk through, and they have one person down at the end at a little kiosk, almost looks like a podium, like they're going to deliver a sermon or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, if something goes wrong, they're pretty fast about coming over and saying, here, let me fix it for you. So in my experience with Home Depot, at least, it's been pretty smooth. But now the grocery store thing can be a little bit different, especially if you've got the coupons or, some special item or something like that. Like when you go there and you see, buy 1, get 2 free, and the 2 free don't happen, and you got to wait around for somebody and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm kind of torn because I just don't think the scanning technology has gotten to the point to where it's convenient for the consumer. It's almost more of a headache to do that than the money they're trying to save by not having an actual cashier.
And there's always going to be someone in that line, once they get to the self-checkout, they're going to be like, how do I use this? They're going to be really slow, and then it causes a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, the only self-checkout kiosks that I like using are at the airport. JetBlue, Continental, United, whatever. Those self-checkouts save time. They're quick.
They are fast.
At a supermarket, I don't know. I'm not wild about that idea.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as much as I hate the idea that it is costing people jobs, I use self-checkout at the grocery store all the time, mainly because the first time I went to the grocery store near us, and they packed the bags all incorrectly. Like, eggs on the bottom, lettuce on the bottom, that sort of stuff. And, I know how to pack grocery bags myself. So I go to the self-checkout, and like you said, Louis, there's always that one person who saw the regular checkout lines and was like, well, the self-checkout line was shorter, I'll go use that. I have a cart full of stuff. I've never used self-checkout before. I'm going to take 17,000 hours to get through my checkout. And meanwhile, I'm just there with like my 13 items, be like, I could have been out and gone by now.
It's pretty sad when your food expires by the time you've gotten through the self-checkout.
It's like they need self-checkout for beginners, self-checkout advanced.
Yeah, right. Like, sometimes to be honest, I put more than 13 or 15 items in my basket to go to self-checkout.
You're that guy.
And I hear someone, like, if I hear someone behind me go like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in the bag, I want to turn around and be like, I will be in and out of here before that guy even gets going. And I have. I'm an expert at this. The only thing that really bothers me is when there's no code on the vegetables, so I have to search for the name. I don't know.
It's hard to scan celery, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. This has been self-checkout talk with the Deal Newsroom. All right, let's move on. This is a story about Facebook. They are going to be making their ads even better.
Well, that's hope, sort of.
Kind of.
It technically could, though, right? So what's the deal is that Facebook and people that advertise on Facebook are going to essentially create anonymous lists of users and then compare them, right?
Yeah, if there's a match in email or phone number, then they'll know, like, oh, like for example, let's just say I buy a TV at Best Buy, and then I buy something else at, like, Walmart, and then buy.com. So then, Walmart, buy.com, Best Buy, they all have pages on Facebook. So what they're going to do is upload the info that I gave Best Buy and Walmart, like my email, perhaps my phone number, and they're going to upload that to Facebook and then try to cross-match that to see if it already exists on Facebook. And if there's a match, then they know, well, okay, so Lewis likes electronics and TVs. Let's give him Facebook ads that are about electronics and TVs. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's the plan.
And it's going to be all anonymous. Like, Facebook isn't going to know any more information than they already know, and the advertisers aren't going to get any more information than they already know from Facebook. So it's kind of just like saying, well, oh, I have this email address. Do you have it? And Best Buy is like, yeah, I got that. And then you just kind of throw ads at that number on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it sounds like it could work really well. And this brings us back to the old question: is, are ads as annoying if they're targeted specifically for you? And I think that's what Facebook is chasing after here. Would you guys find Facebook ads less annoying if they were targeted to things that you like?
I don't know. It kind of creeps me out sometimes when I'm on Facebook and I see an ad for something. Well, actually, it creeps me out more when I see something for, like, gout remedy, and it's like I don't have any health problems like that. And I'm going, how the heck did they even think that I might have gout?
You've been posting about eating a lot of bacon. We think you're in the high risk. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know how much more creepier it could get. I think my creeped outness tolerance has been escalated so high, it's like, I don't care. Pretty soon they'll be posting pictures of me holding up, like, Nutella or something.
Look at how happy you could be holding our product. This is a Photoshop-generated image of what you would look like eating our product. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would like more targeted ads to me. I suppose they would be less intrusive, but would I look at them any closer? I don't know.
Well, here's a question. When you guys, like, I think we all use Gmail, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Gmail uses targeted ads based on words that you use in your email. Do you guys notice the ad that pops up in Gmail, or do you just dismiss it? Me, personally, it's just instinct. I dismiss it, but every now and then I'll look up and I'm like, ooh, Southwest Airlines ad. I'm like, oh, that's right. I just typed an email about, like, whatever, some airfare or whatever.
See, I did not know that. I didn't know that they did that. And to be honest with you, I totally disregard it. I don't even look anymore.
Yeah.
So I should probably start noticing there might be some good deals.
I use a email client, so I never.
Oh, you do it to client?
Yeah, I don't go through the website, so I don't really see those things. I don't know. Where else would I see targeted advertisements towards me? No, not very many places, actually. So I haven't really come across this, But I mean, are any of the ads that you've seen in that fashion, Lewis, ones that you almost thought about clicking or even did click? Be like, hey, this is something.
No, I don't think I've ever clicked on one. No, I mean, they're somewhat close. I mean, like I'll send an email saying, like, hey, let's do Mexican for dinner, and next thing you know, I have, like, a Taco Bell ad on my Gmail. I mean, it's creepy in that sense. It's creepy in that sense that, but I don't think I've ever clicked on one. I mean, it just doesn't. It's targeted, but it's not what I'm talking about. They always miss, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, hopefully with this new version of targeting ads, they're hoping to hit a lot more, I guess.
Yeah,
what was
but the
that
question
movie
is,
that came out a few years ago where the guy got his eyes replaced because he was being hunted by the law, and every time he walked into a store, it, like, read his retina and kept saying, "Hey, Bill, did you see the new sale on corduroy pants or something?" What
Minority
was that?
Report.
Minority Report. That's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
getting there. We're getting there.
yeah,
I
we
know.
really are. It doesn't even need to be retinas. I mean, with face recognition technology, all they really need to do is hook up something that goes to Facebook, looks at your face, and then runs that software like the type that they have in Vegas casinos that look for face matches on ne'er-do-wells and villains and crooks, and
Right.
just run that against something that they assume is what you look like, run it against your personal preferences, and next thing you know, billboards are changing so that as you drive down the street, it says, "Hey, Jeff, why don't you stop and get some more Depends on your way home."
That's going to be pretty bad for celebrity lookalikes, I can imagine.
Yeah, right. Or the celebrity,
Yeah, or the celebrity too.
that way, because the lookalike is going to be the one that
Right.
ruins everything for Tom Cruise, because it's the Minority Report.
Yes.
All right, let's see what we have next. This one I really enjoy. Epics, EPIX, whatever. The people that pretty much gave Netflix streaming all of their good movies that you would actually want to see. Well, the exclusivity has come to an end with Netflix, and Amazon has announced that they have signed a very nice contract with them. So a lot of movies that I've been waiting to see have finally come to Amazon, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. For instance, you can now watch Thor and Captain America and True Grit and The Expendables. Yes, I want to see The Expendables, the original, not the sequel. No.
Oh.
All for free using Amazon Prime Instant Video.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a huge win for Amazon Prime Instant Video and a huge blow to Netflix.
It's not exclusive anymore.
Right?
No.
I mean, I think Netflix is probably going to hammer out some deal with them to keep the movies. They would be ridiculous if they didn't. But with the end of exclusivity, this essentially means that Epix is free to create, other contracts with other media streamers. So I'm guessing we're going to see their movies pretty much everywhere from
So
there.
here's the big question. Once again, I mean, I know we had this discussion when there was the whole debacle of Netflix changing its name and raising its prices and doing, whatever they were doing. And we thought that might have been the death nail in their coffin. I'm just wondering if this is yet another death nail in Netflix's coffin. I don't see how they can keep going if people are pulling the plug on all of the exclusive content and all that. It's going to be like Netflix is going to be like the MySpace of social media pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like everyone else is doing a good job at catching up
Yeah.
to Netflix. I mean, Amazon Prime, when it first started, was pretty ridiculous. But, I look at this lineup of movies, and I'm like, well, that's at least, like, another 2-3 months of me being entertained by stuff that they have available for me to watch for free
Right.
from my Prime account. So even if Amazon doesn't supplant Netflix, now I would say they're more neck and neck than ever. I don't know, not exactly neck and neck. Netflix still has a little bit more, but people are catching up.
Right.
People are catching up.
Yeah, I think they'll coexist finally. I don't see Netflix going away. They'll coexist fine, and they'll just be big movie houses. They're going to have like a huge, Amazon will have a huge catalog, Netflix will have a huge catalog. There'll be a lot of crossover, but maybe it'll come down to what original content they can create. We both know that Amazon's trying to do their own original content, and so is Netflix.
Right.
Who else is a big player? Redbox. Redbox is, they're probably going to be, building up on their catalog as well. So I think it'll be, in the end, it'll work out towards the consumer's benefit.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like, which one do I go with? They'll all have
Right.
a good backlog of movies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it could shake out that there are going to be such minor differences between all the streaming services, and those differences are going to be the not exclusive, but the in-house made video content. So it's like, oh, do I get Netflix because I like House of Cards or whatever it is that they're making, or do we get Amazon because I like whatever show that they're producing, or so on and so forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys both have Prime? Yes.
No,
have Prime.
I don't have Prime.
No, neither of you guys have Prime.
No, you know what? I probably should because I mean I'm spending $7.95 a month for Netflix as it is now, but I can't stream Amazon Prime to my TV.
Yeah.
I can't stream it. Well, I guess I could stream it to my computer, but it's like I don't know. If I was able to stream it to my television, I would probably consider switching.
Yeah. Well, you get a Roku box and done.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do.
I have a Roku box, and basically what I do is if a movie that I want to watch isn't on Netflix, I'll go to Amazon and see what they're charging for it. And if they're charging too much for it, then I'm like, all right, screw it, I'll wait or whatever. But yeah, I've been tempted to get Prime. I really don't know what's keeping me back, but yeah.
Yeah,
because I was just going to ask, you guys both still use Netflix, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So you both use Netflix but don't have Prime, and I have Prime and don't use Netflix. It's interesting. But then again, I don't watch a lot of movies, and you guys probably watch more.
Well, you used to do Netflix back in the day.
Yeah.
So would you say that the quantity of films that you would want to see on Amazon Prime is greater than that of Netflix?
Well, I will say that right now, looking at these movies that have just been added to Amazon, make me like the fact that I have Amazon Prime Instant Video streaming, because the reason why I left Netflix is because we never found anything we wanted to stream. There was never any high quality blockbuster, big name movies out. Of course, the second that we canceled Netflix is when Thor and Captain America and The Expendables all got there, and I was like, oh, what have we done? And so I had to wait almost a year in order to get movies on there that I want to see.
Gotcha.
But I think it's gonna come and go in waves for a bit as well, like as they try and outcompete until it all settles down at the same level, So like Netflix is gonna push back and have more, and then Amazon's gonna be like, well, we gotta add more, and then Netflix is gonna add more, and then you're gonna slowly run out of things to add until they're about equal, and we're at the situation that I mentioned before.
It seems to me that there's going to come a time, and I'll be a little bit like Andy Warhol here. I believe in the future that all of the streaming services are going to work with the studios to develop a tiered pricing plan to shorten the delay between movie release on video to streaming. Like, say, if you do Netflix Gold, you only have like a 2-week wait, or maybe not even 2. I'll say a week wait for it to be streaming, as opposed to having to rent it somewhere else. Because it's getting to that point now to where, what was the movie that came out? Like Brave, I think, Disney, Pixar's Brave. It was like in the movies, and it seemed like 2 hours later it was already on Blu-ray.
Right.
So, something's got to give, and I honestly think that people are going to, stop doing pressed media. Maybe not now, maybe not in 5 years, maybe not in 10, but I think it's going to come to a time where everything is going to be digitally served.
And then you can sign up for Netflix Platinum, which enables you to watch the movie as it's being filmed. That's going to be the next step, So it's like, what else can we give them? Well, we can watch it being made, and then they don't have to watch it later when it comes out through Redbox. We'll outcompete on them because they'll have already seen how it's put together.
See, I totally see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and I agree with it. And another thing I'll add also is that I think it's going to come to the point where, all these streaming services, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, whoever else, they're just going to become giants. Mm-hmm. And it's going to become just like the cell phone industry, where you're going to have Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and they're going to start charging whatever they want. And because there's going to be no other alternative, there's going to be almost like a monopoly, really, and they're going to start raising rates. Mm-hmm. And, you're just going to have 4 or 5 giants, and they're going to control what consumers end up paying for their services, and they're going to be able to charge whatever they want. As opposed to right now, where there is some sort of competition, difference in price, but in the future, I see them just getting in cahoots with each other and saying, like, all right, time to raise those prices.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's like, oh, a new year. Let's all increase it 10%, shall we?
Yeah,
Cost
yeah.
of living increase.
Yeah. Unless they get too greedy, and then the studios are like, wait, why are we letting you do this? Like, why don't we do it ourselves? I mean, I'm surprised that the studios aren't looking into a digital streaming distribution method of their own. They must be, right?
Yeah,
So that,
that's something we discussed back with the whole Netflix thing. Is
mm,
why haven't the studios, unless they figure someone else is doing it better, let's just charge them to
yeah.
distribute our films.
Yeah,
Yes.
why waste research and development dollars into something that
Right.
they're already handling? And if we can make a lot of money, gouging them on licensing fees
Right.
for our
Yeah.
stuff that they're going to pay because they want to have this content, then that's working out for everyone when it's finally going to come around. If something happens, like I said, where these streaming services get a little too full of themselves and they think that they're now in control, that's
Right.
when Universal is going to be like, not really, and
Yeah,
pull the plug.
exactly.
But thank you for trying.
Right? Yes, it's very nice of you to think that you were bigger than us, but no.
Sorry.
All right, guys, that does bring us to the end of this. Speaking about pulling the plug, it's about time
Wow.
we.
That was quick.
Yeah.
That went by very fast.
Time flies when you're sitting in an overheated room. Just, whew, nah, for me, it dragged on because I think I lost about 5 pounds in water weight just sitting here. I don't know. Can you tell? Can you tell that I'm glistening with?
No, actually, not so much. You don't have that super high def camera,
Oh,
so
good.
you don't like. I can't see the perspiration running down your face.
Right. I just look slightly greasier than normal. It doesn't look like perspiration. It
Yes.
just looks like oil. And on that note,
Yeah.
listeners,
Thanks for coming, listeners.
Yep. Listeners, for links to today's stories, Twitter feeds, blog links, and more, head over to our show notes page. Also, feel free to send us feedback to podcast@dealnews.com. And if you liked what you heard, consider giving us a favorable review on iTunes or your pod dealer of choice. And if you've not liked what you've heard, well, then just keep it to yourself. But also, the bigger question is, why did you keep listening all the way to the end of the show if you didn't like what you were hearing? That's like torture of yourself. So I hope I'm talking to a favorable crowd at this point. So yeah, leave us a 5-star notification, won't you? We'd be grateful. I'm Jeff Somogyi. Goodbye.